Yeah, Terry Haley, the guy that gave me his flat, the guy that bought me the gym, the guy that gives me everything, bought me a Rolex Oyster. This guy is a gentleman, yeah. This guy is the best guy you can meet. I met Terry Haley. I was on YouTube, yeah. I lived in a flat in Harrow. Um, I had one dumbbell. I was just doing silly workouts and putting it on YouTube. And one day I got a message, and it was from Terry Haley, saying that you know my dad and this that and the other, and can I help you out? Can I give you some weights? Yeah, and this that, and I replied, yes, mate, give me my address. And he come round and give me a load of weights. And as he gave me the weights and bits and pieces, I took him upstairs. He come upstairs and he see how I was living, and really, it took him back. He must have thought, well, a guy like you, a big name like that, what you've got, how can you be living like this? And I was because I was an IPP. I had to do what they told me. I lived when I had to tell when I had to live when they was comfortable with me living there. Yeah. So he said, look, come back to my place. And when I come back and I see his house and all that, I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? And he showed me this place. He said, look, do you want this place? My daughter's going to move out soon. Do you want it? It's yours. I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? But I met, when I actually meet Terry Haley, I met his dad, Dennis Haley, yeah? Dennis Haley was a man who had demolition firms, yeah? And scrap yards and all them sort of things. And Terry takes his dad to a T. He's his double. Terry Haley's his dad's double, yeah? And his dad was involved with a lot of heavy people. He used to come down the Anchor, the White Eye Acton, the Anchor in Acton Bollard's Road. It was always down there with all the rest of the Dave Brafords. It was some white, snowy, there was some bad people, Jackie Lang, Tommy Green. There were some bad people down there. And the old man, Dennis Haley, used to be down there with them. He had his own firm. I worked with him. I worked with the old man. And because I worked with the old man, Terry loved that, you know what I mean? Loved it. He was doing stories about his dad and all that. So his dad was involved with quite a few things. I remember the old man being involved in a big fight. Was in Greenford. Yeah, it was now the McDonald's. Greenford, the bridge of Greenford, on the Uxbridge Road, the bridge, yeah, going to Southall. On the right hand side, you've got McDonald's now. That was called the Bridge Hotel, I think it was called, or the Greenford Hotel. Terry Haley's dad more or less run it, yeah. He run it, and he had a big fight in there with Harry Holland and a few other people, and the old man was a proper face. Proper face, mate. Dangerous man, and you wouldn't want to muck about with him. It goes back years and years and years with many dangerous people. And Terry was a young man, 13, 12, 13, 14, and he can remember me in a bib and brace. I used to wear this bib and brace, it was them days, a bib and brace, and I was massive, I was big, I was really powerful, big arms, massive shoulders, and all that, Terry Haley used to look at, he was in his dad's, I think it was a Jensen, he was in his dad Jensen outside the White Hart. His dad used to put him in the Jensen and tell him to stay there, yeah? And he used to stay there like until 11, 12 at night, you know what I mean? And then the old man would come back pissed, get in the car and drive home. His dad, Dennis Haley, was a proper man, proper guy that everybody liked, a good money getter. The exact same as Terry Haley, yeah? And when I met Terry and he took me around his place, I couldn't believe that he had cars in his kitchen. It's madness, His place was a palace. To look at Terry Haley, you would never think that this guy designed his own house. His house is unbelievable, the way he's designed it. I mean, you only see pictures of downstairs now and again, I'll show you, yeah? But if you was to go upstairs, it's crazy. The way he's done the bedrooms and it's just unbelievable. It really, really is. The designs of everything. It's like proper. And Terry Haley is a nice guy, mate. He's good to me. he's really, really good to me because of me being around his dad. You know, I mean, his dad was a proper man. And, you know, everybody loved his dad, Dennis, you know. Everybody loved his dad. And when he was about, Dennis Haley, he had proper people around him all the time. I worked with his dad at London Airport, smashing up planes, you know, or getting all the alley of the planes and all that, yeah. And, yeah, years ago, you know, in the 70s, yeah, it's madness, isn't it, you know, to go back all them times that I worked with his dad, you know, and sometimes we have good talks about it. But Dennis Haley, his dad was a proper man, yeah? A proper man, mate, who loved his life, he give his kids a good life, you know. That's why Terry's like he is, yeah? Learnt from his dad, learnt the scrap game from his dad, you know. Everyone wants someone like that, don't we? We all need dads to give us that. It's a learning curve, yeah? But my dad died when I was a kid, 1 year of age, so really I had no learning curve. My stepfather was a security guard. Maybe he got that security thing. My stepfather, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So Terry Haley, he's always, ever since I've known Terry, to put cars in his kitchen. And when I first met him, when I walked into the front door, he had a Mini Cooper in the front there. It was a replica. It was a replica of what's that called? The Italian Job, yeah. It was a replica of one of them motors, and he also had a chopper bike in it next to it, yeah. I mean, this kid's a nutcase. And when I walked into one of his front rooms, he had I think it was a TR5 or a TR6, Triumph TR6, in his little front room, tiny front room. He never goes in it, beautiful the way it's designed. He had a TR6 in there, I think it was a TR6. And when I went to the kitchen, he had a V12 Jag, a big V12 Jag in there, blue one. He had another car, was the Aston Martin, a blue left-hand drive Aston Martin convertible. He's a nutcase. He's a nutcase, you know what I mean? But he loves his cars. And any time Terry Hay, you see Terry, you know, not many people get to be invited to Terry's house, believe me. I'm a guy that Terry loves, yeah? And he's always invited me round to his house. You know, even though I take pictures where I shouldn't take pictures, he goes mad. But I sometimes put them on YouTube. He goes even more madder. But we're pals, we're mates. His place has come up tenfold. You know, it's a palace, mate. It's a palace. You know, you never in a million years think a guy like Terry could design something so beautiful, yeah. You know, he's in the back garden. He's got a bell, yeah. This bell is massive. It's a massive bell, huge, absolutely massive, yeah. And he bought it off my mate, Danny Williams. Danny was doing some demolition, and he bought it off Danny Williams. Yeah, beautiful bell, really, really nice, massive, yeah. But as I say, I loved Terry. He's been so good to me, mate. He really has. Anytime I need help, Terry's there for me. You know, anytime I need anything, Terry's there for me, because that's the way it is between mates. Yeah, we're mates, and you got to remember that everybody around Terry, no one so close as me, was with his dad. You know, that's what brought me and Terry together with his dad. You know, I worked with his dad in the 70s, yeah. You know what I mean? So Terry's like, can't believe it. You know, he heard about me. His dad told him, he said, look, I'm with a guy called Ray Hill, and this geezer should knock walls down with his fist. Seriously. I was mad as a kid. It was crazy. But there's a lot more stories, you know. One of the best guys, well, one of the hardest men around, you know, was a guy called Snowy. Snowy was like a pain in the butt to Terry's dad, and to everybody. Snowy didn't care about no one. He could really fight, and the guy's a good worker, mad worker. They found him one morning down a lift shaft in the bottom, all big girders gone through his body. You know, something happened. He's gone over the top or something like that. But you know, yeah. But the old man, Danny, Terry's old man was one of the only people that could control Snowy. And believe me, to control Snowy, you had to be a bit in the mark, yeah. You know, and when you had people like Tommy Green and Jackie Lane, you know, but those worked for Dave Braford. I think they sometimes worked for Terry Haley's dad as well. They were top people. They was going for 200 or 300 foot in the air with just a mattock, no scaffolding, just stand there with a foot, with bricks a foot wide and smash, and just do it with a mattock, yeah, and come down, stage by stage by stage by stage. Tommy Green and Jackie Lang, and up in the air, when they was doing this burning, there was mustard. Terry was really good burner. He was good with the torch, with the burning torch. He was really good. He could cut a lorry up in seconds, yeah. What. He was fantastic, and he got it all from his dad. Learned everything from his dad. And Terry's got a yard that's, well, it's just unbelievable, mate. The yard, scrap yard, and Terry started off in a big yard, massive yard, with cars. And Terry started off with a little bit of that yard. He started off, say, 100 foot wide by, not even that, by 50 foot wide by 100 foot long. Yeah, he had a little yard doing the same thing, cars, braking, and all of a sudden he got a bit of money together and bought that little bit more, got a bit more money, bought a little bit more money, bought a little bit more, and in the end, he owned the yard. He done car braking. He was smashing up cars, smashing up lorries, and got money, and decided the car game isn't worth it. Let's get into the scrap game. And now you go in his yard, and everything in that yard, Terry Haley owns. He don't have nothing nothing. He pays for everything, yeah, because the guy is like that, you know. And good luck to Terry Haley, mate. I love him to death. He's a good man. He's a worker, and I'm proud of him, mate, for what he's done, yeah. And you will not believe the way he lives. He lives the business. Anyway, Terry Haley, you're my pal, mate. Always will be. Love you. Nice one, mate.